In this episode of CMSD News, tackling attendance. The Cleveland Browns team up with CMSD students to help boost attendance. And marching at Marshall. Watch as the John Marshall Lawyers strike up the band and boost school spirit through new arts education. Also, downtown decorations. See how students are brightening up the holiday season for all to enjoy in Public Square. Plus, start your engines. CMSD students feel the need for speed. We take you behind the scenes as they help build a race car. And we sit down with CEO Eric Gordon for an exclusive Q&A about the district and what we can expect as we close out 2018. Hello everyone, I'm Shannon Cantner and you're watching CMSD TV, bringing you the latest news out of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. The Cleveland Browns have had reason to celebrate on the field this season, and off the field, they're helping CMSD celebrate improved attendance through the Get to School You Can Make It campaign. Several players and chomps visited Clark School to support the students and staff for their commitment to boosting attendance. The Browns talked about the importance of education, took an attendance pledge with students, and teamed up with them for some friendly competition. Hear from the principal and the Browns about the experience and why it leaves a lasting impact.
It's awesome to see a whole lot of kids excited to see you. Getting the kids hyped up a little bit, but more importantly, spreading the ever important message of how important going to school is and staying in school. None of us, in the NFL would be where we are without school. You have to get to college, you have to play ball. One way or another, you have to do school. No matter what your passion is, you have to find a way to get there. In my case, my mom was a teacher, so I was at school every day on time, every single day.
Attendance has always been a top priority at Clark School because we know that if the children aren't here in their seats in front of the teachers, that we can't educate them. So we will continue to ensure that it is among one of our focus points, as well as not only do we want to meet our goal of attendance, but we expect to exceed it.
It was very cool. We all took a pledge together, essentially saying how no matter what, they'll get to school. And then we came out here, did a little relay races, and then a little kart race, which my team won. But no, it's definitely just fun to be with the kids, see how excited they were, and spend time with people who look up to you and spread an important message while doing it.
We're actually in our 4th year of a partnership with the school district. Really excited to share that over 4,100 additional students are on track as a result of the campaign. Amazing work being done by the district and the staff through the attendance office and various departments within the district, but really excited that the parents and caregivers and students are taking ownership and realizing how important every single day is. And so to see the smiles on kids' faces and to see that this really matters to them, that they're excited that others care, that they're making it to school, hopefully makes a difference, but it makes it all worth it.
It's a pleasure to be able to have this opportunity to have a partnership with such a great organization and to recognize the improvements that Clark is making in attendance with the Get to School You Can Make It campaign. It was a thrill to have the players here, to see them interact with the students in activities that were geared towards sportsmanship as well as competition. And here at Clark, we want to say thank you to the Cleveland Browns for stepping up to the plate and making attendance a #1 priority at Clark School.
1, 2, 3.
The district's Get to School You Can Make It attendance campaign began in 2015 and continues to be effective with support from community partners like the Cleveland Browns, helping to lower chronic absenteeism and increase academic performance. The attendance campaign is a true team effort, and behind many great teams, there's also a band. But there hasn't been a marching band at a CMSD high school in years until now. The John Marshall Lawyers are marching to the beat of their own drums, literally, bringing back a tradition that's also brought back a lot of school spirit, and the band is only the beginning. There are also new arts classes open to students at all 3 schools on campus. Learn more about their arts programming and how it's helping students change their tune. Ronald is a junior at John Marshall School of Information Technology. Learning formulas isn't new, but learning how to forward march certainly is.
I just get so amazed by the drumstick and the drum, how it makes the sound together.
John Marshall is offering both drumline and concert band for the first time this year. Not just as after-school activities, but as courses students can take every day, part of their curriculum.
I really want our kids to have all the opportunities in the world. I believe well-rounded students need to have all of the great academic core content, but also the great arts programming. In the past, our students had a regular art class where they have ceramics, drawing, and painting, but they didn't have a music arts class, and that was a huge gap and a huge void. So last year, one of my students, her name is Haley, she came and asked why we didn't have band, and she wanted to start a petition and get a list of students and their instruments to actually add a band class. And I said, this is great. I love band. I was a percussionist. I will support you in doing this. She came back in 2 days with like 50 students and the instruments that they played or wanted to play.
Most of the students have never played an instrument before.
See how I'm just holding it up here and the handle's going in and out?
But their teachers take pride in introducing them to it.
There's not as much music education that's happening at the elementary and middle school level. So what I'm doing is I'm basically building the kids up from zero. But that's what we're doing. We're building from the ground up. Right now, you know, how do you hold the instrument, blow in the little end, not the big end, stuff like that.
But students caught on to stuff like that pretty quickly, performing for the first time at John Marshall's homecoming pep rally and football game.
I was very excited to see our drum line. I was on the snare line when I was in high school back in the day. To see them perform and get excited, and for the students to see like, oh, what's that? We have a drum line. Like, this is really cool. It was a really special moment. I think even the staff felt the energy just in the gym as they came out for the pep rally. It's important for our students here, but it's also just as important for our alumni and our community to see that.
It's a joy to show them like he's actually teaching us stuff in drumline.
He's also teaching pep band and guitar lessons after school.
Move your fingers up to the next 2 sets of dots.
We've been learning the strings and tuning and E7, B flat, A sharp, and all the other stuff.
And that's not all. John Marshall also has a drama club led by performing arts director Maureen Martin, who oversees the music department and arts education at the school.
Who has ever been in a play or musical? Raise your hand.
It started from nothing, and basically to be able to bring the arts to these students and have those opportunities for them, I think it's awesome. And it means to me, I mean, performing arts is my life, and to be able to see this come to life at John Marshall, it's awesome. To be able to watch students grow each and every day, to be able to pick up some music and look at that and be able to create that, it's awesome to see like that spark come to them. When I walk into school, sometimes you see the kids like drumming and stuff like that, and like to be able to see, you know, kids carrying instruments in and out of the school and having those opportunities, and they're free.
Giving students the freedom to explore their interests in a welcoming and convenient place.
Some kids, they can go home and they don't want to go home, and it can have them so they can have more time at school. It's nice to get to know more people in their school because, you know, we're split into 3 schools and we don't always get to see everybody. But when you go to drama club, you get to see all students from different floors.
It's kind of like a safe place. You don't have to pretend to be somebody that you're not.
Their arts courses are helping them hit a high note in other classes too. In fact, research shows that students who take music education do better on standardized tests.
To be in drama club, you have to be like on top of your work. You have to be a good student.
It's made me more social and more talkative towards others.
So in drumline, you really have to listen to the beat as the teacher is talking. So listening to the beat is just like my math teacher telling me I should memorize this. It's kind of like that.
They're starting to like being creative, which is awesome, because once you start getting that, you know, the higher order of thinking, that creativity in, all of a sudden, oh wait, our test scores went up? How did that happen?
Though they still have some fine-tuning to do, they already know the right key to their success.
We know how to play drums. We are a family too.
The music director believes within 3 years, the marching band will be solid. This year, John Marshall also became a site for All City Arts, which offers even more arts programming to all CMSD students. If you want to see it all in person, mark your calendars for December 13th for the first Performing Arts Winter Showcase at John Marshall, featuring the drumline, band, high steppers, dancers, and drama club. But you don't have to wait to see CMSD student artwork. You could actually head to Public Square right now to enjoy original holiday structures designed, built, painted, assembled, and installed by students from NC Squared STEM High School. The displays are 4 to 6 feet tall, featuring igloos, polar bears, penguins, and snowflakes, each adorning a tree in Public Square. Hear from the students about the projects and what it means to them to help Cleveland celebrate the season.
Out on display we have penguins, snowflakes, polar bears, and igloos. We each designed it by our imagination, our own creativity.
I made a penguin. On one side it's a penguin wearing a red sweater, and on the other side it's a penguin with a tuxedo.
I absolutely love them. My school, we wanted to do something for Cleveland before we graduate in June. So I'm really glad we got to do it, and it was a very good experience for me.
It means a lot because I've been an artist since early on, and for at least one of my projects to be noticed by the public, it's great.
I'm excited, just ready for Winterfest and for everyone to see it.
All of the displays were installed in time for Cleveland's Winterfest tree lighting celebration. Students spent several weeks creating the structures. Several weeks. That's all the time a group of 30 students from 3 CMSD high schools had to rebuild a race car. Students from Max Hayes, Davis A&M, and Garrett Morgan high schools worked over a 5-week period, enhancing their STEM education and teamwork skills through hands-on experience led by a professional engineer. The Cleveland Public Library, Tri-C, and nonprofit Experience Aviation came together to make this project possible. I visited the students several times throughout the build to see the progress before they reached the finish line. Learn more about the program and hear how it helped the students gain confidence and interest in new career paths. This is not your typical car.
My first reaction was that car looks amazing.
Well, it's definitely different than my Honda.
It's a supercar that once raced a jet.
This is a GTM supercar from Factory 5 Racing. Students in Miami actually built the car from scratch. With this project, it is a little bit different than the normal project that Experience Aviation puts on, where it's a restoration build or a rebuild per se, where we're actually taking a car that was already built from a kit. So all these parts come in from all these different boxes, and kids put them all together, follow the instruction manual. But then with our students, they move some of those parts again in hopes to make this car go faster.
The goal? Faster than 215 miles per hour, which takes a lot more than just a tune-up.
We took out some sheet metal from underneath, and then we took out the fuel tanks and the oil filter, and we put it on top of the engine.
We learned how to put on the fiberglass. We learned how to change the fuel, and there's just certain bolts and pieces that we had to take off the car, and we had to take apart the engine and rebuild it.
When you work on a car like this, you learn a lot more. I learned how to take stickers off, how to remove the glue that's left over, and then how to actually work with different types of people.
Many of the students didn't know each other and didn't know that much about cars at the start. Lead engineer Barrington Irving teaches students everything from using the right tools to teamwork and problem-solving skills, helping them through any bumps in the road.
Driver's side tank has the pump. It's very fascinating to work with these kids, to see, of course, that you're impacting their lives. You can see the excitement and, of course, the anticipation as to hearing this motor run. It's out-of-the-box thinking. Sometimes we have challenges during these builds, and that's where we get our epic moments because, of course, they've deemed the end product to probably be impossible, especially the time process that we go through, which is a very fast pace, and to know that at the end of it, nothing is impossible. You should always try.
And his son is leading by example after securing his place in history as the youngest person and first black pilot to fly solo around the globe. Captain Barrington Irving Jr. founded Experience Aviation in 2005 to introduce youth to aviation and STEM fields.
How many kids can say that they got to work on a sports car or on a race car? The whole idea about this is to inspire and motivate kids to think about not just the aviation industry, but the auto industry as well. And so if we can get kids involved with a very fast-paced car build, hopefully that motivates students to think about, hey, there are some pathways here in our district, and it's not just about being a mechanic, but there's other careers that are involved. And so it's taking those creative ideas for students and allowing them to see it in a new light with this car.
And seeing themselves in a whole new light, gearing up for bright futures, full speed ahead.
They taught me, like, well, if I can do this car, I can basically do my car, my dad's car, anyone's car that I can practice on now. This definitely made me look more into my trade and wanting to go into college to finish my trade.
I want to be a mechanical engineer for airplanes, and also want to be a private pilot. It made me feel more confident about myself, because I'm like, if I can build or help work on a car, then I should be able to do an airplane. Like, it's simple, right?
I want to do that for a living when I get older. So that was like working on like my dream job. I don't know, I just feel like really proud of myself, because I'm just like, I work on that car. Like, I did that. I'm really glad that I had this experience, because it's not something that everybody gets. And I don't know, I'm really grateful.
All of the students' names are displayed on the car, along with school and district logos. The completed vehicle was featured at the NEO Stream Conference, and it was on display at the Cleveland Public Library downtown for the Maker Faire on November 3rd. Experience Aviation plans on taking the car to other schools around the country to help inspire more students. And Mr. Irving tells me, thanks to all of the students' hard work, that car will race again and maybe even break a new record. Orchard STEM School was recently named an Apple Distinguished School, and I'm not talking about the fruit. The school offers one-to-one technology for students and staff. It's now one of only 400 schools worldwide to receive the designation of Distinguished School from Apple, and the only pre-K through 8 school in Ohio. Students and staff celebrated the honor with a community ceremony in November. See inside the classrooms and hear how it's helping students succeed.
So on behalf of Apple, we would like to recognize Orchard STEM as an Apple Distinguished School.
It's a huge, huge honor, really. Apple does not just give this award out, and it's really for those that are the schools that are the most innovative and the most creative in how they teach and how students are learning. And so for me, winning this award means we've really transformed what the educational experience looks like for our kids. And most of it is through experiential learning that they probably wouldn't have had if we didn't have these one-to-one devices.
We have proven to Apple that we are really reinventing what learning looks like for our students, and it's a really proud moment for us here at Orchard that our students are embracing this, our teachers are embracing this, and it's a new culture of learning. We're no longer in textbooks and doing worksheets, but our kids are doing challenge-based projects, and they're connecting with students around the world. They're creating, they're coding, they're really bringing to life their inner genius, and it's really fun to watch our students blossom in that way and build their confidence in what they're good at.
I think education has been the same for a really, really long time, and one of the problems with that is it's never worked for our kids. And history really kind of proves that, and even if you look back at our district report card and our state report cards over time, we have not been setting the world on fire, and I don't think it's because we don't have great educators or we don't have smart scholars. I think it's that we're not focusing on how kids make meaning of the knowledge and understanding around them and the content in front of them. And so what was really important for me to do as the principal was to think of a way that we can explain to the community why moving one-to-one was so imperative to the learning experience. So we know kids learn by integrating their prior content knowledge and making meaning of what they already know. So when you can make children, or I guess create experiences for children that they would not have otherwise had, going to a foreign country, interacting with peers from a different climate or geographic location, having an integrative book study, talking to authors, things that might not happen every day just in the four walls of a school ground, you absolutely build a much wider, expansive knowledge around a content area, and then kids can really make meaning of that. And so we wanted teachers and students and families to all kind of understand that this is the future. This is how we're going to be communicating. This is probably a field that you're going to be working in.
There are about 400 Apple Distinguished Schools in the entire world, and we are now one of them. We are the only one in CMSD, and we are the only one in the state of Ohio for elementary at the moment, so that's really exciting. To celebrate our success, we put together an Apple playground for our families and scholars to enjoy together, and it was just a way of showcasing some of the technology that we use to learn, but today in just a joyous, fun way. So some of our students were coding spheros through a race course. Other students were green screening and making fun films. Some of our younger students were doing some green screen technology with, it's called stop motion, where they were creating little videos with characters that could move and be animated. But just having fun with the technology and letting our parents see like how we learn, because it's not something that we all grew up with, so it's nice for our parents to understand that their kids are coming to school, they're not bringing home worksheets, but they are doing something and they're doing something meaningful every day.
I am so honored to work with people who are so willing to throw traditional practices out the window, to really try their best to make sure that kids get experiences to learn in a way that makes meaning for them, and also to make it fun. And so it's just really exciting to be a part of that and to know that when kids leave my doors, they are innovators and thinkers and creators, and they have a leg up in today's society when it comes to getting a job and being successful, but most of all, for being happy. And that's what we really want, is to produce a really happy citizen.
The list of Apple Distinguished Schools, a circle joined by invitation only, includes colleges and universities. Apple describes the schools as centers of leadership and educational excellence. That's all the time we have. Thanks so much for watching CMSD TV. And for more programming like this, you can always visit clevelandmetroschools.org/news. And we're always streaming live online at clevelandmetroschools.org/CMSD TV. We'll see you next time.